Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to PDAC 2024 in Toronto. It's day 4 and it's the final day. But last but not least, we are here at the booth of Vizsla Silver. I'm a shareholder of the company. I want to disclose that upfront. And we are here with Michael Connott, CEO. Fantastic. Hey,
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much, Jochen. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm really happy to see you finally again in person.
Yeah.
That's always great. And I'm a shareholder in the company. Of course, share price is what it is. But I think you guys do a lot of right things and you're really on a great path. So first of all, congratulations to a $35 million bought deal it was?
That's right. Yeah, 34 and a
Amazing.
half. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's super. So from whom came the money? Because you wanted to raise 20 and now 34 and a half. I mean, wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, the money, I think it came from some very good institutions. So we had Equinox was there, BD Capital, RBC Asset Management, some
Wow.
very top tier investors that we're very grateful to have. But I think these new shareholders, they've come in, you know, to support the vision that we have, and it's part of, you know, bringing Simon Smirlik on recently as COO, one of the world's greatest mine builders, now our COO. You know, the path forward for Vizsla is very, very bright, and you're right, the share price offers a really attractive entry price here. I've been buying over the last few days. I'm going to continue to buy into the weeks ahead. So is the rest of our team. So, you know, we're eating our own cooking. We think it's criminally undervalued.
Absolutely. So it's like a perfect call of silver, but you do not have a bank against you.
That's right. That's right.
Great. Before we come to the production pass, because this is what interests me most, you again put out fantastic drill results. I mean, that's super. Of course, there are, some would say, I spoke with some geologists also, and they said, yeah, it looks good, but sometimes it's a little bit narrow. But I said, well, narrow, yes, but in that intensity and so close together, everything, I think this is absolutely economic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, narrow. I you know, the average structure in Mexico is about 1.5 meters. You know, our structures are 10 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters. So you know, we're much wider than the typical mine in Mexico, and we're, you know, multiple times the grade. So. What I think is important, you know, we'll look towards the PEA to talk about how feasible this mining is. But once you get payback from Copala, from the high grade, very thick mine, you know, 1 meter thick, 0.5 meter thick structures can be economic. So, you know, it's all about return on investment, paying back CapEx, and then, you know, being a profitable mining producer.
Definitely. Yeah, so I said drill results were super, but you just gave a presentation here at PDAC and you told me you were talking now really about the path to production. I want to listen to that too, of course.
Yeah, you know, well, I'm getting more and more excited about, and this is something I haven't really talked about in interviews. I'm getting more and more excited about the idea that we're in a major silver belt, and you know, it runs from Sinaloa, through Sinaloa, from San Dimas, you know, into Panuco, and it's an area that's never really been discovered or explored before us, really, in any meaningful intensity. Now, you know, I think we have the path forward to building the initial production with Vizsla here at our western center of mass. CapEx for that, I think, will be quite reasonable. The production profile will put us somewhere between the 8th and the 3rd largest silver primary producer in the world, which is incredible. That's based on research from Michael Gray. It's not our number internally, but
So
it's
it means
research.
like 15, 20 million ounces
I think
per year?
that's achievable. But of course, that's project one. You know, if you look at our map in our district, that's one area. You know, I think there's 4 other centers of mass growing across this district. And the reason I mentioned San Dimas before is because I think we have the chance of becoming a 1 billion ounce district like San Dimas. And I think that there's probably other ones in that trend, you know, that we operate in. And we're really moving to be the dominant player in that trend. So, you know, if you fast forward through the years, I think you'll see that Vizsla is, you know, one of these mega silver producers with our projects that we have right now.
Absolutely. I mean, you have the resource to do that. That's also for sure. You must not drill, in my thinking, so much more. Of course, you will do. I know you. But with that resource, you can already go, let's say, towards reserves, etc., and really start the whole process. So what could be a path to production from here, 2027?
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable time to consider if you think about, you know, critical path items like pyramiding and you know, and others. But you know, you're right. I think the drilling, we at this point here, if we add another 50 million ounces, it's not going to make that big of a deal. any other company, if they had 50 million ounces, they'd make a huge deal out of it. So for us, it's just marginal increments that probably don't make as much sense. What we will do, though, is explore throughout the district, target, drill some of our highest targets and show that there are more centers of mass out there. I think that's important for us to do. But really where our funds are going towards now is de-risking the project. Test mining should start this year. PEA will be this year. The royalty spin-out was important. That'll happen this year for our shareholders. And then feasibility sometime in 2025. And, I think moving towards a potential 2027, again, potential 2027 production, not set in stone. Things can obviously change, but that's a reasonable time frame.
Okay, super. Royalty spin-out. That's also something I wanted to talk about with you. What does it exactly mean for the Vizsla shareholder today?
Well, it means that
we get money.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, I have to find a delicate way to say that, of course. But we did that with Vizsla Copper, and on the back of that spin out, it traded from 7 cents to 70 cents, and our shareholders made a lot of money on that. The ones that sold, and of course, Vizsla, Craig runs that. I've been buying that. We're supporting that company. We haven't sold, but with the royalty, I think it's a similar idea. We're going to spin that out to shareholders. Those that want to take the free cash, they can sell it. That's fine. But shareholders own an asset through the company right now, the royalty, and they're not getting value for it. So we want to spin it out and create value for our shareholders through a public company that stands alone. It also creates optionality for Vizsla Silver that could be used for paying part of the capex, in the sense that Vizsla Silver will own 49% or so of the resultant company that'll be publicly traded. And it has the option to sell the shares in the market. It has this option to sell the shares to a royalty company. And that money obviously would go to the Vizsla Silver treasury. So it's, I like to think that sometimes we have some really good ideas as a team. And I think this is a good idea to create value for our shareholders and for Vizsla Silver itself.
Okay. And we had also questions from viewers. The royalty is then on the future Vizsla Silver mine, and you intend to do more royalties elsewhere, or is it only specific for that?
No, we don't believe that we will need to do any further royalties on the project. This should be something that is very conventional financing, debt and equity. The numbers that we've seen internally so far, I think will show a very rapid payback, and that's something that will be very reasonable to approach with debt and potentially equity financing.
Okay, super. So, ton of work this year. What's your view on two things I would love to have? The first thing is the open pit thematic in Mexico, which I think was a bit confusing in the last weeks because it sounded like a ban, but I don't believe that in the 500-year-old mining tradition. And secondly, how do you see the silver market emerging this year into the 6th year of a deficit now, continuing?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, silver, I think we're basically on the very verge of a breakout. We're at that 6-month lag behind gold, and typically gold will make a new high, and then silver will lag about 6 months, and then it'll continue and break out. So I think that should happen soon. I'm not holding my breath, of course. We'll see it. Respond when it does come. But I think silver is a great place to be. It's probably the metal with the most upside torque. And then sentiment in Mexico, like anything in the world, you need to kind of tune out the noise and just focus on business plans. And we've been permitted recently in the last few months for our underground test mine. It's a 100% underground project. So if there was an open pit ban, which it won't pass the Congress, that wouldn't impact us anyways. But I think what we're fighting against there in Mexico is just ignorance to how important mining is, how many jobs it creates, the economic benefits, the ecological benefits, environmental benefits of the metals that we produce. So, as an industry, we probably need to educate people a little bit more and help them understand, how important what we do is. And, part of our sustainability report was doing that, explaining how we can do what we call regenerative mining and take good care of the water, take good care of the environment as we produce the metals that the world needs.
Okay, super. So I would say things are running smooth. You have a big work program. We look forward to a lot of news, and you have the money to do so.
That's right.
Couldn't be better.
That's right.
And the only thing we need is a silver price above $30.
And for Vizsla to run, Vizsla run.
Exactly. That's how much we want to see. Super.
Exactly.
Mike, thank you very much. And yeah, wish you all the best. And I have a good feeling that we soon have some updates here.
Yes, thank you very much, Jochen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Connor, the CEO of Vizsla Silver. You heard it. Things are in really good shape on the path to production. 2027 could be a possible starting year for that, and they will be immediately under, I think, around the top 10 in the silver producers in the world. We need a lot of more silver. We are on a 6th consecutive year of a deficit. So really check out the company. I'm a shareholder already. You should be also, because Vizsla run, Vizsla run. That's how it should be. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from PDAC 2024.